All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got a bunch of NBA games on the slate tonight, December 9th. It is Friday. Time to cash, guys. We go through each and every game. I give you my lean. I give you what I'm thinking, talk about the game. But my final play is what I'm actually ultimately going to be rolling with and putting my own money on tonight will be in the pinned comment. If you guys want to ride with me, if you want to fade me, that is absolutely up to you. But my final plays will be in the pinned comment. We're coming off of a 1-0 night. We had Denver money line last night. They made us sweat that one out, but we did ultimately cash. So coming off of a sweep, but it's like using a toothbrush to sweep, 1-0, it's not really a sweep, but we did not lose last night, I guess, per se. But 1-0 night, guys. We're gonna go through each game here. Like I said, I'll give you my lean, but just keep an eye on the pinned comment for all the final plays, any added plays, all that good stuff, guys. Okay, and also, if you do want to become a channel member, guys, thank you so damn much to all the new members out here. We're gonna do stuff special for you guys coming up soon, I promise that. But if you do want to become a member and have access to our daily models for spreads, totals, and player points, make sure to check that out. I'm also posting all my prize picks on the member sheet. So yeah, guys, if you do want to become a member, $2.99 a month. First and foremost, it's a great way to support the channel, but secondarily, we are trying to give you guys that value. I know most of you guys are like, Ev, it's $2.99 a month. We're just here to support, and I appreciate the hell out of that, but I do want to give you guys that value in return. But enough of that. We'll plug a couple more things in the show, I'm sure, but let's jump into the first game here. We have New York taking on Charlotte. Charlotte is 3-point dogs at home. They are 7-18 straight up this season, 12-12-1 against the spread. The Knicks, on the other hand, 12-13 straight up, 11-12-2 against the spread. So very similar against the spread records here. But again, Charlotte, 3-point dogs at home. Total is 224. Let's take a peek at the injury report here. No major injuries for New York to note here, but Charlotte has gotten that injury bug. PJ Washington questionable. LaMelo Ball downgraded to out. Dennis Smith Jr. downgraded to out. Gordon Hayward has been out for a while, right? Cody Martin been out for a while. So very, very tough for Charlotte here. They have covered 2 straight games, but they've lost those games. 2 good teams though, the Clippers and Brooklyn here, with 2 big spreads. They've covered both those. They've actually covered 6 out of the last 8 games here, so they're playing decent against the spread basketball. They've really turned it around. But the Knicks also, on the other hand, playing good basketball. So I am going to lean the team that has the most talent here. It's going to be the Knicks. So they've covered in 2 straight games, being an underdog and a favorite against Cleveland and then Atlanta. So while Charlotte is playing decent basketball here, I do tend to lean, I guess, to the team that has a little bit more talent. So I like the Knicks here minus the 3 points. That total 224, I could see this one going under. What scares me though is Charlotte, playing no defense and all that stuff. I could totally see them going over as well. So I'm sticking away from the total, but my initial gut reaction, backed by research too, would be the under in that, but that's a very, very slight lean. Moving on to the Magic taking on the Raptors. Magic getting 8 points here. Total is 221.5. The Magic 6-20 straight up, but they're against the spread record. Surprises me every time I see it. 11-12-3 against the spread. The Raptors, on the other hand, now 14-11 against the spread here. These 2 teams played at the beginning of this month, right? So just 6-7 days ago. The Raptors won 121-108. So they really took it to them. The spread was 11.5, and they did cover. This Orlando team has absolutely been plagued with injuries. For this game, Gary Harris downgraded to out. Wendell Carter Jr. still out. Ukiki is out, and then Jalen Suggs is downgraded to out as well. I hate laying the 8 points, but I'm going to lean the Raptors in this one. They've covered 2 out of the last 3 games, and they've had a decent, and the Raptors being one of those, but they've had a decent, they put up a fight against Boston, the best team in the league right now, and they beat the Lakers 126-113. So if they can beat the Lakers by 13 points, I think that they can handle this Magic team, and I'm surprised this honestly isn't quite a double-digit spread. So I'm going to lean the Raptors here minus 8. I don't love anything on the total, to be honest. All right, next up, we got the Pacers taking on the Wizards, guys. Pacers at home, 5-point favorites in this one. 233 is the total. I think that this Washington team is playing a little bit better than people might give them credit for. I've watched a decent amount of their games here. While they are 2-8-1 against the spread in their last 11 games here, they're playing really well in terms of competition. And then all of a sudden, I feel like this is what it is. Even with Bradley Beal out, it helps that. But if you're watching, you've probably seen this too. If you're watching these Washington games, they're in the game, and it's almost like the wheels just fall off at the end here. But yeah, they're not playing good against the spread, but I think I'm going to take the points in this one. I think it's a decent amount of points to give Washington. They've won straight up in 7 of their last 10 games against Indiana, if you want to put any weight into that. And on the flip side, Indiana, this is great against the spread team. They won on an absolute tear, right? Last 5 games, 1-4 against the spread. So they're kind of dropping as well. They're not playing good basketball. So I think this is just too much to give Washington. I think that this should be like a 2.5 spread. And the fact that we're doubling that with 5, I'm going to lean Washington getting the 5 points there. In terms of a total, I could totally see this one going under as well. A sloppy basketball game. I know the pace could get up there, but these are two teams that are kind of slipping and not many buckets going in for them. So I'm going to lean the under in this one as well. But yeah, I wouldn't discount. I'm not trying to tell you guys that Washington is a good team, but if you've watched some of these games, we've had plays on plenty of them and player props and whatnot. This team kind of hangs around, and then all of a sudden, poof, final scores would indicate that they're not there. They're not playing well. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a little bit of value there in that Washington line. Moving on to the Cavs, 5.5 point favorites here against the Kings. 222.5 is the total. These two teams played at the beginning of November, and Sacramento took it to Cleveland 127-120 in a very high scoring game there. Obviously, Sacramento was underdogs, and they won that game. They're 13-6 in their last 19 games against the spread here, but Cleveland straight up 8-3 in their last 11 games, and they're 7-0 in their last 7 at home. They're at home tonight, and De'Aaron Fox is questionable for Sacramento, and I'm feeling like he might not play because that line is 5.5 points, which the Kings are covering left and right, and they beat Cleveland last time they played. I'm thinking something's indicating the injury report here for De'Aaron Fox. Donovan Mitchell now on the Cavs side of things is also questionable. So for this game, it comes down to injury reports. I don't really want to gamble on whether or not Donovan Mitchell's playing or De'Aaron Fox is playing, but I will say if they both play, I'm probably going to lean Sacramento. If one of them is out or whatever, I think this could throw off the line and so on and so forth. I'm probably staying away from this game. So I'll monitor the injury report. Make sure you guys keep an eye on the pinned comment. If we like something, we'll throw it in there. But as of right now, the 2 stars on each team, or 1 star on each team, the 2 of them combined, is making things a little bit questionable, and I don't really want to sink my teeth into something that I don't know what I'm eating. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So we're sticking away from this one for now until we get an update on the injury report, because those 2 guys are obviously instrumental to this team's success. All right, next up, Philly. 5-point favorites taking on the Lakers here. Philly's at home. Total is 227. This Lakers team turning a little bit of a corner, I guess you could say, when it comes to against the spread. 6-4 in their last 10 against the spread. In their last 3 at home, they're 2-1, but more importantly, they're on the road tonight. 4-3 in their last 7 games against the spread at home, or on the road here. Now, Philly 4-0 in the last 4 games against the spread at home. Obviously, injuries are plaguing both teams here. Anthony Davis, probable. He had left the game with flu-like symptoms last game. LeBron James, probable. He's dealing with an ankle. Pat Beverly, probable. He's dealing with a knee. Juan Toscano-Anderson is out. And then for Philly, the injury reports here to note would be Daniel House Jr., Tyrese Maxey, and Georges Niang, all looking like they're not going to get a run. Philly lost 3 straight games. Before that, they were kind of trending in the right direction. But they're at home tonight. I just think 5 points may be too much to give or to lay. So I'm going to go ahead and lean on the side of the Lakers here if LeBron and Anthony Davis are active. Anthony Davis will be well rested. I think it's wild that he left the game with flu-like symptoms, but hey, that's his choice, not ours. But I'm going to lean, if LeBron and Anthony Davis and Pat Bev, if they're questionables or they're probables, if they do end up playing, I think I'm going to lean Lakers here. Nationally televised game. I know they're on the road, but they've been good against the spread on the road as of late. I'm leaning them in this one. And plus, last time these two teams played, which was last year, don't put much weight into it, but Philly won 5 points here. So, and they've won the last 3 meetings here. Actually, now that I dig even deeper, they've won the last 3 meetings. So I think that that's the type of thing that, you know, LA doesn't go unnoticed, and they kind of internalize and say, you know what, let's win this one. We'll see how that one goes, though. I don't want to, again, injuries suck. We're getting to the point in the NBA where, you know, some guys are probable every single game, and it's like, well, are you probable or are you not? LeBron is like the king of that, right? He's on the injury report every single game, and it's like, buddy, are you playing? Are you not? Because you'll be questionable, and then you play, and you look fine, and then you're on the injury report for another injury next time. So kind of annoying there. But if those guys are a go, like I said, long story short, I lean the Lakers. Nothing on the total. Brooklyn hosting the Hawks. Brooklyn laying 7 points here. They're 14-12 straight up here. The Hawks on the road. What do we call them? Tweet the Atlanta Pigeons here, but they're getting 7 points. Total is 228 in this one. These two teams yet to play this season, but in their last 10 games, Brooklyn's looking pretty good. 7-3 straight up and 6-1 at home in the last 7 straight up here, and 4-3 in those 7 games against the spread. And on the road, the Hawks, their last 5 road games, 5 road games, right? 1-4 against the spread, 1-4 straight up. This Atlanta team, the Pigeons, when they are on the road. DeJounte Murray rolled his ankle, was it 2 nights ago? He took a jump shot and he rolled his ankle against the Knicks. He's out. And then Ben Simmons coming back. Looks like he's probable with that calf injury for the Nets here. I don't like this number, if I'm being completely honest. 7 points seems like a lot, but I'm definitely not leaning the Hawks. So by default, I'm leaning Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons and company on the Brooklyn side of things. 7 points seems like a decent amount to give, and it totally is, but this team, you know, they could go off at any moment. I still think long-term this Nets team could be pretty good, so I'm going to lean them -7 here. I doubt it becomes a final play just because I feel like that is such a large number for me, you know what I mean? And I also see 230 is the total here. I'm going to lean the under in that one as well. All right, Detroit taking on Memphis. 10.5 point favorites, which is fair, but I hate those big numbers here. 10.5 point favorites. Total is 228 in this one. In terms of the injuries here, Cade Cunningham still out, and Isaiah Livers is downgraded to doubtful. Steven Adams questionable for Memphis, and Desmond Bain still out with that toe. Memphis in their last 3 games here have absolutely been going off. 4 games, I should say. My bad. 4 games they've covered and won. Now the competition hasn't been all that great. Philly, Detroit have beaten and bruised Miami, and then OKC. So they haven't really been tested as of late, but they beat Detroit by 10 points last time they played, and that was just a few days back. So I think that the same thing goes and happens here. I just can't bet on this Detroit team. If anything, if we're to be on the Detroit side, it would be like a 5-point teaser, because I think Detroit could keep this to a 15-point game, right? But if we're just doing a straight up one pick here, I think I'm going to lean Memphis minus the 10.5 points. But I also like the over in this one as well. I don't think that becomes a final play, but I like that a little bit better than 10.5. So definitely do your own research there and see what you guys think. But I think that this is a type of game that, you know, it went over last time they played, right? So I think a similar thing could happen this time. All right, Phoenix taking on the Pelicans here. Phoenix, 2-point favorites on the road. They're 14-11 against the spread this season, 16-9 straight up. And the Pelicans, very similar record here, 16-8 straight up and 13-11 on against the spread. These two teams played end of October, and Phoenix won 124-111. But if my memory serves me correctly, they did have a little bit of a injury bug there on the New Orleans side of things. Phoenix 5-5 against the spread here in their last 10, but 2-1 in their last 3 home games during that stretch here. The Pelicans 4-3 in the last 7 against the spread on at home. Jay Crowder is out, Cameron Johnson's out, and Washington Jr. is out. Nothing new for the Phoenix side of things, but New Orleans, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, both downgraded to out. So I do like Phoenix here, minus the 2 points, minus the 2 points. Now, we got a couple good comments last time we talked about Phoenix playing Dallas. Phoenix was on the road. That Phoenix really isn't that great of an away team, but still, in the last 3 away games, they have covered. And even looking at it here, they're on the road, they're 5-5 against the spread. So I understand they're not the same team because they're dominant when they're at home, 12-3 straight up this season. I get that, but I do think that this is a very manageable number. And as long as you have Chris Paul coming back and D-Book there, and they're coming off of that horrible loss, 125-98 loss to my Boston Celtics, they got to have a little fire in them here. So I'm going to lean Phoenix here, minus the 2 points, even though they are on the road. And this total is a pretty sharp line. I don't really have much for you guys on the total. Before we get into the last 2 picks, I do want to talk to you guys about the TikTok game, guys. We're loving TikTok over there and loving the community that we're building. We're posting our prize picks plays over on TikTok and doing some fun videos there. So if you have not checked me out on TikTok, it's at Ev Singleton. The thing's been popping up probably on the banner here, in the edit here on the overlay for this show. So make sure to go check it out, guys. If you have TikTok, I'm answering comments, replying to them, all that good stuff. We just started a few days ago and it's popping off over there, having a lot of fun. So make sure to go check that out if you do have the time, and make sure to check out Prize Picks. That's what we're doing over on TikTok, but Prize Picks is an awesome platform, guys. Use that link in the description. 100% of your first deposit is going to be matched by a Prize Pick, so you get some free money to play around with there. But let's keep it going here, keep the train on the tracks. We got the Jazz 2-point favorites at home, total 235 in this one, 235.5. In fact, the Jazz slipping and sliding from that amazing start to the season, but still positive, 15-12, both straight up and against the spread here. These two teams, last time they played was late October, and the Jazz won 132-126. Now, Minnesota started to look efficient for a while there, but they're 6-12 in their last 18 games, 2-4 straight up in their last 6. But Utah, not much better. The thing that I'll look at in this game is probably, and crazily enough, it's a high total, is going to be the over 235 in this one. Both these teams can score, and I don't think that they play that great of defense. If you look at Minnesota as of late, 121, 128, 127, you know, in terms of points scored. But then you look on the other side of things for how many points they've allowed: 137, 142, 135. And then Utah, same exact boat, letting up in the 120s, scoring in the 130s, that type of thing. So I guess by, you know, just if I had to give you a pick, I would lean Utah minus the 2. I don't hate that. No Karl-Anthony Towns still from Minnesota, but Colin Sexton is out. Lauri Markkanen's questionable, so I don't really like a side here. I just like the idea of a lot of points going in and not much defense being played. Last game on the slate. Finally, this is a long one today, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas Mavericks taking on the Milwaukee Bucks here. Dallas giving a point, or getting a point, excuse me, at home. I know the graphic says that it's a pick 'em, but now at the time of recording, we screenshotted this a little bit earlier. It is Dallas +1 here. And I think that, you know, barring any injuries or anything like that, I know Dallas is playing some decent basketball, 4-1 in their last 5 games against the spread. I think that Milwaukee comes out here and says, no. Check yourself. We're still a really, really dominant team. And with, you know, only having to win by 1 point, sure, it could end up a push, but I think that this is pretty much a money line pick here. So I'm going to lean the Bucks, who are 14-9-1 against the spread this season. I'm going to lean the Bucks to win this game. I think that that's probably the chalk play, but a bunch of people are. But I do think this Mavericks team, as well as they've been playing as of late, I think this Bucks team is a little bit of a different animal, a different beast there. You know, but a buck is a little bit scarier than a horse, isn't it? I think so. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for the show today. Hope you guys do enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you're still watching. If you're still watching, you've probably already done those because you're one of the real ones. But we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.